Hey everyone, it's Kenji. I'm going to show you how to make hanetsuki gyoza, which are dumplings with wings. I was just making these actually for my wife who wanted them for lunch, so I thought I'd show you. So far all I've done, these are regular old frozen dumplings. These ones are actually even store-bought. I'm not sure the brand, but you can use store-bought, you can use homemade, but frozen pot stickers is what you want to do, and you want a nice non-stick skillet. You can do this with carbon steel or cast iron if you're really sort of confident in your pan, but it really makes it much easier to do it in a good non-stick skillet like this. You can do it in an 8-inch like this. You could also do it in a 10-inch. You could even do it wider, but it becomes more difficult and kind of unwieldy the bigger you get. So we're going to use the classic pot sticker method, which is where you fry the dumplings first, and then you add water to let them steam. And then you fry them again a second time once all that steam is evaporated. That's how you would make pot stickers. So the technique we're using is basically exactly the same. The only difference is that we're going to add a little bit of starch to the water that we're using to steam. So add some cornstarch and some all-purpose flour. About a teaspoon of each, roughly. You can do all flour or you can do all cornstarch. It comes out as sort of a little bit lacier and crispier when you do it with pure cornstarch, and a little bit sort of crunchier when you do it with flour. So I like to do a mix, but you can do all of one or all of the other, no problem. Now just some cold water to dissolve this. Start with a little bit of water so that you can make sure that there's no clumps in there. And then add some more water. I'm going to go with about a half cup or so total. That looks good. This recipe, so this technique, it's from Japan. It's been around for around 30 years or so. Invented in Tokyo at a restaurant. But from what I gather in my Instagram feed, it's now having like a comeback moment. I think a bunch of people I think Josh Weissman was doing it. Andrew Ray over at Binging with Babish was doing it. The one I've seen Sola's video. It was a Bon Appetit video. Someone pointed me there. I saw that one. In Sola's, she actually does a mix of. She uses vinegar instead of plain water, which sounds actually quite interesting to me. Maybe I'll try it next time. All right, so a little bit of salt just so that your wings taste good. And you're going to see what's going to happen is that initially. So when these are lightly browned, that's when I'm going to add my. Yeah, those look good. All right, so I'm going to add my water slurry. Oh, jumped at me. And initially it's going to bubble up in steam. And now this slurry is going to get really thick. And you'll think that there's something wrong, or that you'll think maybe, oh, those dumplings are never going to cook, or things are going to burn. So you see how thick it gets, like a pancake almost. So we're just going to cover this. And what's going to happen is those dumplings are going to steam, and that slurry is going to slowly cook down, and eventually it's going to leave just a dry layer on the bottom that's going to interconnect all the dumplings. So we'll get there. It's going to take about 5 minutes. So I can hear. So where there's still lots of liquid in there, it makes a sort of softer sound as the liquid kind of evaporates. But then once the liquid is gone, it's going to make a much sort of cracklier frying sound. So this is what happens. Your liquid evaporates, and your starch is left cooking onto the bottom of the pan. And you'll know it's ready when the edges start to pull away like that. Let me grab a little spatula. Having something like this helps. Of course, you can do this with a spoon, or you can do it with a regular spatula, but a thin, sort of flexible spatula like this helps. And you do want to be a little bit careful when you're doing this not to really sort of dig in, because, metal spatula on a non-stick surface, I'm really barely pressing it against the surface, just enough to kind of get the dumplings to start lifting off. And you'll see, so you can see, like, once you're able to get the spatula behind there, when it's ready to come off, it'll kind of just come off on its own. You don't really have to do a lot of work at all. Let's check that they're the color we want. All right, looking good. So the dumplings are fully steamed through, and they are re-crisped on the bottom, which means they're ready to come out. And the way we're gonna do that is just invert it. So plate over the top, like this. Ready? 1, 2, 3. There you go. And now, so you can see on mine, there's kind of little holes all over. These ones are a little solid. Actually, I would go with a little bit less starch than I did this time for a pan this size, because I like it when there's lots of little holes like that as opposed to just a sort of more solid sheath, but it's delicious either way. All right, dumplings. I got some sauce. That's just a mix of chincam vinegar and soy sauce, mostly vinegar, a little soy sauce, and then a little bit of ginger in there too. I'm gonna break one of these guys off. So like I said, I did this with store-bought dumplings. You can use your own homemade dumplings. They can be fresh, they can be frozen. Any dumpling that you can cook using this sort of pot sticker method is gonna work for this technique. And it really adds like this nice extra layer of texture. Love it. All right. Okay, everyone. Hanetsuki dumplings, or as I call them at home, dump wings, because they got wings. Guys, gals, non-binary pals, I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, it's Kenji. There are 22 million kids in this country that rely on school lunches for nutritious meals. And with schools closed now more than ever, organizations like No Kid Hungry can use their support. So I'm asking you to join me. Click the link in the description below to donate some money. No amount is too small or too big. Thank you very much and stay safe. Bye-bye.